Hi, my name is Tina Polhamus. I teach here at Doherty in West Bloomfield. I teach primarily students with autism, and this year I've been using the conventional lessons as well as some of the supplemental activities. I really love the ease of use. I go into the flow chart, I find the activities that I want, I go to the conventional lessons. I worked my way through from Unit 1 to Unit 6. I went through, I read the pacing guide and then did the lessons the number of days that it asked, and then adjusted based on what my students were showing me that they had mastered already. So I really love how easy it is that I can just click on the lesson, it pulls out everything that I need. I very rarely have to make anything extra. It's usually already there. There's slides, there's videos, the manipulatives if I need them are there. Sometimes I add extra things if my students aren't getting it after the first few days and make my own based on what the lesson was, but usually I don't have to even do any of that. It's all right there for me. And I also love that there are built-in probes so I can progress monitor and use that for IEP goals as well as just to let parents know how they're doing on the essential elements. And then there's also the beginning of the year assessment and the end of year assessment. I'm going to be giving that. I gave it at the beginning of the year. I'm going to be giving that in the next week or so. And so I can see the growth that they've made from the beginning to the end of the year.
Can you talk about the makeup of your classroom?
Yes, I have 8 students with autism. I am technically a level 4 resource room, but all of my students have autism. I have 2 that use devices. One is nonverbal, one has limited verbal skills. And then I would say, so those 2, so 2 of my students are emergent and 6 of my students are conventional math students. But I teach the conventional lessons and try to modify for those 2 emergent students so that they're still exposed to everything that everyone else is doing, and because I couldn't find time in my day to teach 2 lessons, so they have to do it. They have to do what everyone else is doing. However, if the task is something like adding to 20, I simplify theirs to 10, or if everyone else is adding to 10, they might be only adding within 5. So that they're still adding and still having to represent numbers and do the same activity that everyone else is doing, but I simplify it or reduce the amount of work that they have to do.
How often do you use the lessons, and how much time does it take per day?
I do math every single day. The lessons, I probably do 3 to 5 a week, depending on the unit, depending on the skill. Some skills my students got within the first or second time that we did the lesson, so I didn't bother repeating the lesson over and over again. I switched to one of the math games or math activities. So also in the flow chart there are games, printable games, digital games. So some days we do just math games for all of math. Sometimes we do splat. Sometimes we do tell different and the same. I can't remember the name of the instructor routine, but when you put it up on the board, you ask them how many. So it's just a picture, and they have to say how many, and you don't tell them what it is, how many, they just have to tell you, so they're having to label, so we're getting language. I'll usually put up my core board when we're doing that, how many bananas, how many of a color, how many of a shape, so that we're working on the descriptive language as well. But on the days, so at 3 to 5 days a week I do the lessons, and then the other 2 days are usually games or other math routines like counting collections or splat. So it's still math review, but try to make those other days fun as well, so that we want to do math and we know that math is a fun time where we're going to get things out and move them with our hands.
And about how much time per day?
Oh, how much time? So we do 11 to 11:40 is the time that I have assigned for math. So it's 40 minutes, but I will not tell you that all 40 minutes are math. That is transition. So transition from whatever the warm-up is to the actual activity to cleaning up. So 40 minutes is the allotted time that we have, but I'd say we're probably actually doing math for 20 to 25 of those minutes.
Excellent.